Pleasure, you could stay on. I am Pious Kojo Backah. A look now at our stories. The approval of a program for Ghana by the board of the International Monetary Fund is expected to come off at the earliest in January next year. That's according to Singapore-based market and research firm Red Intelligence. It, however, pointed out that in the worst-case scenario, the IMF board approval will happen latest in March 2023. There's more in this report.
In its latest analysis on Ghana's debt restructuring, it said the IMF board approval of a program for Ghana is expected at the earliest in January next year, after which the debt sustainability analysis parameters will become public. The government is aiming to reduce its interest payments on external debt to not more than 18% of annual revenue by 2028. Red Intelligence also said the local debt restructuring should be reviewed positively by Eurobond holders for two main reasons. It addresses one of the key constraints in Ghana's debt sustainability analysis, that is debt service, and it shows that the government is serious about achieving external debt restructuring in the first half of next year. The exercise is expected to shrink Ghana's extremely high interest-to-revenue ratio. The government on December 5 launched a debt exchange program. Per the program, local bond holders have the option to exchange bonds totaling some $10.5 billion, equivalent to 4 new issues.
Meanwhile, the government continues to face tough opposition to its debt exchange program as organized labor has declared its intention to embark on an indefinite strike from December 27. According to the Trades Union Congress, the strike will be in force until government exempts pension funds from the planned debt exchange program. But can the government implement the program without touching pension funds? Partner and head of financial advisory at Deloitte Ghana, Yaolate, had this to say in an interview in the marketplace.
It depends on what options we have on the table. And I think our debt sustainability program or our debt exchange program is not only looking at the domestic market, but we're also looking at the external market. So to the extent that there can be another option beyond our domestic exchange program, then I think government can consider exempting pension funds. But I think we have to put this conversation in context. And put it in context is to understand why the debt exchange program. The debt exchange program, first and foremost, is supposed to help us reduce our debt burden. Running at a rate where about almost 60% of your revenue that you generate is used to service interest is something that's unsustainable. And so for us to bring our debt to sustainable levels, we should all be prepared to make some sacrifice, including what we say in workers and pension funds and all. So there has to be some commitment to support the government and the program. Secondly is the fact that there has been some strong positive response, including the investor community, to us reaching a staff level agreement. And government has said over and over again that having this exchange program is part of what we are looking at, reaching a complete IMF program, if I may call it. So if we're going to have challenges or there's going to be some setback in our debt exchange program, then obviously that will affect our negotiation with the IMF and reaching board level approval and then getting some disbursement to support our initiatives. I think that's the problem or the challenge that is possible.
Now, banks wrote off 2.92 billion cedis as bad debt in the first 10 months of this year. That's according to the Domestic Money Bank's income statement published by the Bank of Ghana. There's more in this report.
The bad debt, which was 66.8% more than the previous year, was as a result of loan losses, depreciation, among others. During the same period in 2021, 1.7 billion cedis was written off as bad loans. According to the Bank of Ghana, the banking industry's non-performing loan stock increased to 11.3 billion cedis in October 2022 from 8.4 billion cedis in October 2021. This was partly due to the revaluation of the foreign currency NPLs and deterioration in some domestic currency portfolios. But the banking industry's asset quality improved during the period under review. When adjusted for the fully provisioned loan loss, The industry's NPL ratio declined sharply from 6.2% to 3.9%. The decline in the NPL ratio was, however, due to higher growth in total loans relative to the NPL stock during the review period.
Let's now touch on some revenue-related story, and the Ghana Revenue Authority has indicated it will focus its lenses on the hospitality industry during this Yuletide season to clamp down on all event centers, pubs, restaurants and cinemas operating unlawfully. This came to light after its enforcement team embarked on an exercise to seize and invite owners of some 9 shops operating in the Achimota Mall over infractions of registration of company and invoicing. There's more for you in this report. As part of its routine exercise in clamping down on companies operating unlawfully under the regulations of the GRA, the enforcement team of the Ghana Revenue Authority today visited the Achimota Mall, where it inspected documents of the various shops operating illegally. 9 shops were cited for various infractions. Joseph Anan is the head of enforcement unit at the GRA, Accra Central.
Today we took our search to Achimota Mall. We visited a number of shops, and we are impressed that a number of them are issuing the VAT invoice. But we still got about 9 of them who are either not registered at all, or they are registered but then they are doing selective issuance of the invoice. The places that we found to be non-compliant are as follows. We have Ara Outdoor Playground. They are not registered. In fact, there was no evidence that they are registered, so we assume that they are not registered. They don't have the VAT invoice, they don't have the VAT certificate, so we've assumed that they are not registered. We spoke to some responsible, employees of their company, and they themselves didn't give us any indication that they are registered.
He however stated that the enforcement team will this Christmas season be focusing its lenses on the hospitality industry to weed out recalcitrant operators.
Our journey towards end of year is on. Like we said, the focus is now on the hospitality industry. Tomorrow, we'll do some night exercise. Our officers are already on the field, and they are visiting all the event centers. In fact, we've started, and we hope to visit as much as we can before the year ends. The event centers, the pubs, the restaurants, the hotels. So please, don't wait for us to come. Because I believe it's quite embarrassing when we come with the cameras and you are being shown to the entire world. So don't allow us to come to you. So please do the right thing so that when we come, the cameras will not capture you.
He, however, disclosed that the move is geared towards meeting the revenue target for the year.
Compliance tools that is being used, like the invoice invigilation and all the other compliance tools that the GR is using, we are seeing some good, improvement in VAT and other tax types. Yes.
Now, the Ministry of Finance has reiterated its commitment to return inflation to a single digit. Speaking at the launch of Safari, a new tissue brand, Deputy Minister of Finance Dr. John Kumah indicated that his outfit is working assiduously to create a conducive environment for businesses to recover as well as help new ones to thrive.
2022 budget, government announced that it wanted to build an entrepreneurial nation. In a bid to achieve this, the Youth Starts program was initiated to provide funding for startups. Deputy Minister of Finance, Dr. John Kumah, recently made a call to entrepreneurs to make use of the funds in the African Continental Free Trade Area. He spoke at the launch of Safari, a new tissue brand.
We are committed to support the private sector, and we are going to do everything possible to do what is necessary to make private businesses grow well in our country. And a few things must happen. One of it is access to finance. And we want to encourage you to do that by giving the firm assurance of access to finance. So government has announced what we call the Youth Start program with funding of about 10 billion cedis in the next 3 years, which we hope to give to the private sector for them to do their businesses. So I want to take this opportunity to encourage everybody, especially businesses in our country. Of course, no matter what financing you have access to, if the environment is not good, and you are borrowing at 50% interest rate or 30% interest rate, there is no way your business is going to do well. The target is also to bring inflation to a single digit as early as possible.
Safari tissues are a wide range of tissue products made by a wholly Ghanaian-owned company, Seabage Limited. Managing Director Eric Amofa highlighted the unique selling points of the product.
We are going to be the tissue masters in the tissue industry. There are 2 things or 3 things that we are looking at. 1, the quality of our product. 2, the brand of our product, and the packaging of our product. When you say Safari tissue product, you see the uniqueness in our product. And one is the virgin aspect of it. All Safari products are virgin. We are not competing with recycling product as we speak. We are targeting 2 classes of people, the highly class and economical class people. Our virgin products are targeting the elites, and also there are some products within the virgin, again, targeting the economical class of people.
Media personality Dolores Frimpong Manso is the brand ambassador of Safari Tissues. She explained why she chose to work with the brand.
I've never worked with a competing brand for starters, so this was like a new challenge for me, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to work with them. And then when they brought the products for me to check it, I felt like the quality was very good, so it was something I didn't mind associating myself with. So those are the 2 reasons. The fact that it's a new brand, something I've not worked on before, like uncharted grounds for me, and the excellence and all of that comes with the brand.
Hello, welcome back. This is still Business Live with me, Pious Kojo Backah. We continue with the rest of our stories. And the Food and Drugs Authority, FDA, has set up a series of programs aimed at equipping herbal medicine producers on good manufacturing practices and best international standards. The exercise is also to position the producers to take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. Ashanti Regional Director of the FDA, John Lai Adai Tete, says the routine engagement is to ensure herbal medicine producers comply with regulatory requirements and to stay competitive.
Herbal medicine practitioners are engaging interest groups on best manufacturing practices to enable them take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area. The Food and Drugs Authority, as a major stakeholder, is leading attacks to ensure good manufacturing practices and adherence to international standards. Ashanti Regional Boss John Lai Odaitete says the producers are provided the appropriate knowledge and skills for the production of high-quality, safe, and efficacious herbal medicines with export potentials.
What ensures that the products that comes out from a particular facility complies consistently with the set or predetermined standards, the safety level and efficacy level, is good manufacturing practices. Now, because technology changes, instruments used in those factories change, we have a C attached to it. So it now becomes current codes of good manufacturing practices, which means that periodically we need to update their knowledge base and make them acquire the necessary skills required to remain relevant in the kind of business they do.
Head of Herbal Medicine Department at the KNUST, Professor Isaac Kingsley Amponsa, says there are synergies for the herbal manufacturers to standardize dosages of the product and to optimize production processes.
We want to help them standardize their products. So they standardize the dosages so that if they say that they are giving, this much containing 100 milligram, they are giving that. That is much comparable to the orthodox medicine. So we'll help them to standardize their product. We'll help them to optimize the processes they use in producing this product. And so we will come up with short courses and programs that will help them in this regard. We will visit them at their facilities and then do an audit to see some of the weaknesses they have so that we can incorporate them in the training program.
President of the Herbal Manufacturers Association, Solomon Apiakubi says the Africa Continental Free Trade Area offers members the opportunity to expand to bigger markets, stay in business and reduce unemployment. He says members have the capacity to go to Africa with the support from FDA and KNUST Department of Herbal Medicine.
We have reached a stage where we have brought science and research into the manufacturing processes, guided by the FDA. And so now we've gotten to a place where we can let the world and even Africa and the rest of the world know that we've gotten a stage that herbal medicine is potent. The trust that they have in allopathic medicine, orthodox medicine, they should have the same confidence in herbal medicine because the same guidelines that they use is what we also use in our manufacturing endeavors. We believe that Ghana stands a chance of bringing a lot of foreign inflows through this channel.
Now, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture is partnering at Adepa Fertilizer, an agro-input dealer, to support farmers and crop production. The Department of Agriculture is enthused about the private sector initiative to produce mass organic fertilizers to transform the food and agriculture industry. Love FM's Nana Boachi Yadom has more in this report.
Farmers at Drobonso in the Seche Afram Plains participated in a field demonstration and training in the adoption of Adepa fertilizer in crop production. Kojo Backah, whose company produces Adepa fertilizer, explained how organic fertilizer can be helpful on farm products.
Adepa agro organic pesticide.
We decided to begin the production of agro-organic fertilizers when the Folami worm started to take over our farms. We came out with the Adepa fertilizer when it became difficult to access organic fertilizers some time ago. At the moment, it's been able to help our farmers and to support government's Planting for Food and Jobs initiative.
Adepa organic liquid fertilizer and so on. Abba, ejaso, se kweni biya no oba. The
Ashanti Regional Director of Agriculture, Reverend John Menu, described a global shortage in the supply of inorganic fertilizer, resulting in soaring prices. He is confident the locally produced fertilizer will ease supply on farmers and help sustain food production.
We are not relying only on Adepa. We have the Kumasi compost recycling company that is also coming out of compost that is packaged to support, because really we need a lot of volumes as far as organic fertilizers are concerned, because we are patronizing foreign products. You know, it was also competing with the farmers produce over here. So we are also encouraging our farmers to also expand their acreages. Because when we are banning the import of other products, it means our production base should be expanded.
The Drobonso District Director of Agriculture, Daniel Kwabena Eji, re-echoed the harm of illegal mining to farmlands. He, however, called for the patronization of farming among the youth.
Previously, agriculture was not fetching a lot, but now agriculture is even giving faster income. It isn't like first when our farmers were doing only cocoa and that would take 5, 6, 7 years before you get income. Now, these crops are fetching rice. Within 3-4 months, your rice is ready. And now even the paddy, they are selling it here 700, 800 Ghana cedi. And 1 acre, you can get about 16 bags, 20 bags. So if you are a youth and you are producing even 1 acre, 16 bags of rice, multiplied by 800. How much is that? So why worrying yourself in Galamsey when you can do peaceful work in agriculture?
Nana Boachi Dankwa Yado reporting for Joy News.
And that's our program for tonight. I am Pious Kojo Backah. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Always a pleasure serving you. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.